my name's Karen and I'm a local Blue Mountains artist, and today I'd like to share with you how to needle felt a simple felt picture. So let's get started. Today we're going to be producing a needle felting picture and you'll end up with something like this. It won't be exactly the same as this, but something similar to this. So we'll get started. In your pack you would have received a piece of felt. I've cut my felt in half just so it's a smaller picture and it will fit in a smaller picture frame. You would have received an assortment of wool, some needles and a needle felting block of foam. So decide on the size of the picture that you'd like. If you have a picture frame already, if you'd like to keep your felt A4 size, then that's fine. If not, as I said, I've just cut mine in half for a smaller picture frame. Okay, so what we're going to do first is just lay a variety of wool across the felt. And if you just lay it across and break it off. And now we'll just start needle felting these pieces in. This is just going to give us a base so that we can add further pieces of grass onto it and shape them how we'd like them. So it's just gently but not too gently, and enough force that it's not going to break your needle. And you'll hear the sound as it goes in. So I'll show you that. You don't want it so it needs to be able to give it enough pressure so that you're actually forcing the wool through the back of the felt. And we can add some more. Peel this up gently and slowly. You'll see that the fibres are all starting to connect through the felt. Looks like little tufts of grass anywhere on the back. All right, and then we can start putting a different colour on it again and just forming shapes of grass. So you can gently roll this between your palms and place this over here. With these ones, when you're felting, this is going to be a bit of a slower process, a little bit more precise because it's thinner. and again keeping your fingers away from it. So, and what the idea is, if you can just gently roll the edge of the grass in, and this can be slower so that you can make sure it's more accurate. Rolling and poking just at a slight angle, just so we're not going to break the needle. Come all the way down. And again on the other side. And then just go over it. If you want a little bit thinner, just roll it in and poke it in. Just creating a few extra layers here. I'm going to try not to poke the wool too much in one spot. You can actually tear a hole with the needle. It has very fine barbs on the end of it, and you can actually poke a hole through your felt. So when you're stabbing it or poking it, stabbing sounds a bit harsh, but either or, when you're doing this, it's just random placement of the needle. There's not too much in one spot. Trying to taper it off just a little bit. And rolling it like that and twisting it just kind of gives it a little bit of texture, so it's sitting up away from the other grass. You could just keep building it up and up and up. You could have it quite thick, not too thick, otherwise your needle's not going to go through. Let's go over mine one more time. Ever such a slight angle with your needle. It's not quite up and down, not while you're doing the finer pieces. And then you can just go back to straight up and down. Just go over this bit just a little bit more. And that's your base for your bumblebee. Okay, lady beetle. So we're going to, depending on how big you'd like your lady beetle, and depending on whether you'd like a flatter one or whether you'd like to make it like you're going to with the bee, so it's kind of a little bit more 3D-ish. I'm going to make mine a little bit more 3D-ish, so that it's going to sit proud of the picture. What we're going to do is just twist it just a little. I've probably got too much, say probably about 3 inches, and we're just going to tie a thumb knot in it. And there's different ways you can make a ball. This is probably the easiest. And we're going to make a lady beetle shape. Now with this, I'll just move my grass off. And then I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a poke and try and avoid this needle. Just trying to join all the fibres together, basically. Again, trying to stay away from your own fingers. So you're basically making the little lady beetle the same way as you're going to make the bee, the bumblebee, which instructions for it were included in your pack. There's a couple of ways, as I said, of making a ball shape. This is one of them. Keep checking it just to make sure that all of those fibres are all joining into each other. Just go nice and slow, try and avoid your fingers. And I would love for people to post their finished projects up on maybe on the Blue Fringe site. I'm going to be a little bit brave. Just gently poke it so it's not going through the wool into your fingers. Okay, so we've got the shape of the lady beetle. Now with this, you might need a pair of scissors just for the stripe down the back. Now, so what I'm going to do is I've taken a length, it's just a guesstimate at the moment, of black, and I'm going to just make a bit of a split in it and twist both sides. So like that. And then okay, so we've kind of got a Y shape. It's quite thin. Just gonna lay that on the lady beetle's back. And just slowly, again the edges, try and tuck them slightly under and poke that in. If you've got any littlies doing this, you might want to just give them a bit of a hand. It is a bit fiddly. I might just secure that one, I think. Don't worry about the excess, we can trim that off afterwards. It is terribly fiddly. And go for the other side. Okay. Just nice and gentle with this one. Now, with this little bit here, what I'm going to do is just try and, I might just trim it just a tiny bit. I don't know exactly how much, I guess it's up to you how big you want this little critter's face to be. I'm just going to trim this off. And that side. Poke the ends in. Gently, gently. Okay. And then for the dots, they're really, really, really fine strands of wool. You can just tie a little knot in them. I'm just going to give my lady beetle 4 dots. And gently just give it a few pokes so it's secured onto the lady beetle. Trim the end and then just poke those last few little hairy bits in. Okay, my little lady beetles are going to sit in there. So we're just going to poke again with the edges, just slightly rolling those edges in and slowly poking them down onto the green wool. Gently lift him off and you can see at the back that he has actually been stuck down to the fibres have come through, so he's actually stuck onto the grass. So one lady beetle on some grass. You can just give him a little bit more if you're worried about him coming off at all. Okay, so now we will attempt our little bee. So with your pack, you would have, I don't know which way up the camera is, I'm sorry if this is the wrong way up, instructions on how to make a bee. So that's basically how we would have made the lady beetle, and now we are going to make a bee. Maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger because bumblebees are bigger. Okay, so I've cut probably 5 inches of wool, and again I'm going to make that knot in there, and fold it over just to make that shape there. And again, I'm just going to poke that through, and again we're going to make a ball. Because although a bumblebee is round, if you're making an A4 size picture as well, it might be nice to have a bigger bumblebee. Just going round trying to incorporate all those fibres. I've got my little shape for my bumblebee. I'm going to break off some black. I'm going to just twist it, and my bumblebee, I think I'd like him to have a couple of stripes. It's up to you. And slowly this time, because it's not on your foam this time, so you can probably rest it on there. Just carefully go along the edges and poke those edges in. So we'll give him another stripe. Maybe this one won't be as thick. Just give it a bit of a roll. And we'll give the bee little ball going to be the face of your bumblebee. Again, nice and slow. So if you're holding him either side, just gently through the middle, and we can secure his head or face. Looks like a little licorice all sort. Okay. And then we are going to grab some wool for his wings. You can flatten them to start with and then worry about the shape, I guess, afterwards. Just folding the edges over so that they're more defined. It's a bit better. Okay, so we have one wing. Again, making that wing shape. Just flatten it out first. Let's have a look. Let's see what we've got. Another very hairy wing. I'm just going to trim it down just a little bit and poke all those fibres in. Peel him off. just very, very slowly poke those fibres in where you want your wings to be. I can't tell you whereabouts to put them, but and my bee has beautiful white Mickey Mouse ears. What you could do is give your little bee some little old eyes if you're feeling really confident. Of course, you don't have to. And there you have a bee with great big wings and a smiley face. Well, at least a face. Anyway, I'm going to trim mine off. I'm just going to give it another quick go over with the needle just to make sure it's all sitting down. That's our little picture done.